We know that it costs $200,000 per prisoner per year.
I know. But don't give me the problems and how complicated this is, because I know that. What do we do about the situation if you don't want them to be moved on, what do we do?
So this is exactly what I was saying at the start. We need to fund more of these day centres.
But you're talking about a day centre, Chloe, for people who are, going to be cooperative. I'm talking about the ones who are lying around doing drugs, shouting at people, walking around being difficult. What do you do about them?
And I'll just say this again, the ones with the worst mental health issues. What do we do with them? Just lock them up and throw. If only they still had those places like, what was it, Lake Alice? Is that one of the places? We could put them all there.
Well, that's where the social service support, and again, many of those outreach kind of people within community are funded by many of those social service providers, the likes of which I'm meeting on Friday morning.
Can they go and get those people and take those people away?
There would be the opportunity for those outreach.
Have you seen that movie where Ewan McGregor, they have a place where people have clones of themselves, and the people who are the clones aren't aware that they're clones of themselves because they're only there for when the real person out in the real world gets lung cancer, and then they take the clones and they cut their lungs out of them, they put them in the real person, and all of a sudden these people who are the clones, they get taken away, and all the people who are the clones in this area think, oh, they've gone off to a bit, they won the prize, they won it, they're able to go off, and it kind of feels like that. It's like, just take them away. It's like the people who are around them, like, oh, they're no longer here, they've gone away. In the American cartoon, it's like the puppy's gone up to the farm. It's now living on the farm. They've just gone away. And everything's fine. It doesn't matter if they were fed into a meat grinder after they were taken away, because they're no longer in a doorstep having a mental health issue. So as long as I can't see them, then the problem is solved. That's what it comes down to, Chewie.
Back in the 40s, the 30s and 40s, there was a government program to deal with society's undesirables, and they would pick them up and put them in a van and drive them somewhere else. Problem is that they vented the exhaust into the passenger compartment. And they did that for a wee while until it became just not efficient enough. So they built camps. I feel like someone like Heather Duplessis Allen would be the person that was cheering on this new government program of these vans that would pick people up, because she wouldn't have to deal with the raggedy edges of humanity when she walks around the high fashion shops in central Auckland.
And people are asking, and you're correct, people in the chat, it's called The Island, that one. Yeah. So that's the actual movie.
Not a bad film.
No, not a bad film. All right, I think about 60 seconds.
Workers to directly connect with people, and then to put them into the likes of these day centres to connect
against
with
their will
support. I mean,
that's what I'm talking about, the uncooperative ones. What do you do about the uncooperative ones? It seems to me the only thing you can do is chuck them in jail or move them on.
Well, that is currently what is happening. If somebody,
so this is the whole thing: out of sight, out of mind. When you move them on, then what? Literally, Heather, then what? So you've moved them on from central Auckland to Avondale, then what? Then they're homeless shouting at the Avondale shops. Then what? Then you move them on to Glen Eden. Sorry, Tree.
This is a person that's never had a human relationship, who's never had to build a relationship. She doesn't understand what social workers do.
That's true. She's married to Barry Soper, so you've hit that on the head.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a very mechanical relationship, and I don't like it. But yeah, it's this is what social workers do. They build relationships. They go and they talk to the shouty person, and they build trust, and they build a relationship, and they help that people. They put in the fucking work rather than go on talkback radio and say, there's a smelly shouty man down the road. He should be jailed for existing somewhere where I may perceive him.
And this is exactly what we're coming back to. Matt Ducey, the Minister for Mental Health, right? This is exactly the scenario.
Name.
While you're pledging to do all these things, while Karen Shaw is talking about education around alcohol, and you are cutting funding for the areas that help the mental health issues, that help educate about alcohol and stuff. So you can't have it both ways.
see as being immensely disruptive and bordering on violence or otherwise, then that is the role for the police and that is how they are currently responding.
But you know that doesn't happen that much because you live around there.
I do live in the city centre, and again, I think this is where... But again, this is where I come back to. If we actually want to tangibly, meaningfully and practically resolve these issues, then, as you say, there are some people who are at the most egregious end where it may be more appropriate for there to be a different kind of response. But what I am saying is that for the vast majority of people who are experiencing homelessness or who are currently put in emergency housing, which is not fit for purpose, then they are using the streets as effectively a third space. And that is where we can have serious and meaningful investment in these day centres, connect that up with outreach workers who are working with these social service providers, which looks like a far better and far more meaningful investment than simply kicking the can down the road where the issue gets worse and worse and worse as a pipeline into the criminal justice system.
Okay.